to session. Roll call, please.
Mayor Parton,
Here.
Vice Mayor Gore, Councilor Joyner,
Here.
Councilor Harris, Councilor Denton,
Here.
Councilor Pelham,
Here.
Councilor Holloway. You have a quorum.
Okay. First item of business is the financial report. Ms. Jordan.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. This is the October Finance Committee meeting report. I know we only have 30 minutes tonight, so I'll try to be as fast as possible.
Don't rush.
Okay, so this first slide is actually part of the treasurer's report. It is the cash and investment balances for the city of Hopewell, and it goes from June, July, August, September, and October. But the top part is the actual bank accounts, and the bottom piece is all the investment accounts that the city of Hopewell has. All right, so the agenda, we're going to, you have the minutes from the last meeting. We're going to go over the fiscal year budget to actuals for October to include citywide, general fund, enterprise, schools, and departmental. We'll do a breakdown of the miscellaneous revenues and other taxes and other expenses. That was a request from Councilwoman Pelham. October collection report for data integrators, accounts payable, invoices received and paid for the month of October, as well as the debt service that has been paid, the new P-card policy revisions, and reports from the Treasurer and the Commissioner of Revenue, and as well as December items. Okay. Citywide budget to actuals for October. Citywide revenues for October are trending 0.97% or $4.3 million higher for 25 versus 24. Some of the increases come from past due collections. There was a slight decrease in personal property tax, but again, that isn't going to be due for the city until March, I believe. I'm sorry?
Say that again.
The real estate taxes was a slight increase from 24 to 25 due to an increase in past due collections. For personal property, there was a slight decrease due to collections. Machinery and tools increased due to past due collections. PPTRA is pretty consistent. That's a set amount that the city receives from the state. Use of money and property decreased due to interest income not earned. We have our variables as grants. Increase for state revenues, it comes from the stormwater grant that was received. State is from schools and social services, the increase. Federal revenues comes from the decrease in the ARPA funds. There will be no more additional ARPA funds coming, so that will be that's where your variance is coming from 24 to 25. Miscellaneous revenue is increased due to HWR miscellaneous credits. We also have in lieu of taxes, what is very consistent across the board. Transfers is a slight increase for transfer to different fund types. Our expenditures.
Mr. Mayor, we ask questions as you go along, or do we have to wait?
That's fine. We can just go ahead and ask them.
I always have a concern with miscellaneous, and you said HR, what?
That was Hopewell Water renewal.
Oh, we had money coming back from them. Okay.
It was a credit for $400,000. Salaries and wages from 24 to 25, the increase came from the 2.5% annual salary increases. Other, the school's first quarter operational expenses. Okay. Any other questions on that?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilor Joyner.
With regard, once again, going back to this miscellaneous revenue, I mean, miscellaneous revenue, that's a big number, 16,041 being miscellaneous. And so what is all in that?
Yes, ma'am. If you go to page,
Is it, okay.
12, there's a breakdown of what is included in miscellaneous revenue, other taxes, and other expenses for council's review.
Can you, what, do we get there?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
We have a nomenclature like this, what it's for, why isn't there a line item in the budget for it?
I'm sorry?
Why is there not a line item in the budget for these miscellaneous, this itemized, instead of just packaging up all the miscellaneous?
That's just the category it falls in. Everything does have a specific item, object code in the system, but it rolls up into a specific category.
So this is just, we're looking at the roll-up here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And would it be possible to get this, I mean, was this up in our mailboxes and I just didn't pick it up, or did we just get this tonight?
No, it was mailed out. It was included on the agenda that was sent out last week. I won't believe
All right.
Thursday.
I guess I missed this.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you.
So, break down further, it was 16 million, so I still think we should see the breakdown of the 16 million, not
Mhm.
just,
The 16 million is 24.
okay.
Last fiscal year. You want to see the breakdown of 24 or 25?
I think so.
Okay.
It's
Both?
too big a number. It's just a big number. We just need to
I
see
got
what it
you.
is.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. General fund budget to actuals for October. General fund for October is trending 2.33% or 603,000 lower in revenues for 25 versus 24. Expenses for 25 are trending 0.5% or 2.8 higher than 24. Remember, the key due dates for the city are December, February, and June, so we're coming up on December pretty quick for real estate to come in. Okay. Any questions on this slide? Okay. Enterprise fund, page 7. Enterprise fund for October is trending 4.8% or 3.4 million higher in revenues for 25 versus 24. Expenses for 25 are trending 7.22% or 2.2 million less in expenses for 24. Revenues show a reflection of on-time billing versus last year, and expenses decrease stem from reduction of emergency repairs compared to last fiscal year. So we're doing more on-time billing for HWR, and there's less expenses versus last year.
Do you have budget report?
I'm sorry?
I didn't hear your last part.
There's less emergency expenses coming out for HWR than it was last year, so expenses are down.
Is that what we spend that $6 million in?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're keeping up with what they're,
Yes, ma'am.
did we ever get a breakdown of what that included?
Excuse me, I'm sorry?
Did we ever get a breakdown with that $6 million encumbered?
I can provide a breakdown for
Okay,
you.
from last year?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
And was part of that Winston Churchill Drive? That had nothing to do with the
No,
road?
ma'am.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Cause that was separate ARPA funds. Okay. That was a lot of money.
Okay. Any other questions on enterprise?
And was that a part of the audit? Did they say anything about that, our audit? Did they say anything about that money that they spent, the $6 million?
No, they haven't gotten to 24 yet, so they're still
Oh,
working.
that's
on it.
right,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
right. So you kind of put that in the back of your head when you get to it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other questions on enterprise? Schools. Schools for October is trending 0.91% or 435,000 less in revenues for 25 versus 24. Expenses are trending 2.5% or 2.6 million more in revenues for 25 versus 24.
So they seem to be on track, right?
For the most part, yes, that's time and differential for when the state sends the funds or the federal funds come in. But what they're supposed to receive, they will receive for the fiscal year.
Do you know how they doing their munis training or?
No, ma'am, we haven't received a follow-up on that as of yet. We did receive a follow-up, our first meeting after initial startup on the data integrators one, but we haven't received anything for schools yet.
Okay. Do you know anything, Dr. May?
No, ma'am, they haven't begun.
Okay.
Any other questions for schools? Okay. Department budget to actuals for October. This is a breakdown by department. Fiscal year 25 adopted budget, what has been expended so far for this fiscal year, what is remaining, the percentage of the budget. There are only two, which would be the city manager as well as the marina. City manager's account is over trend only because of the RBG invoices. They come in a lump sum amount, so if it was kind of broken down month over month, it would come in line as where the budget would be, but because they're a lump sum up front, then therefore it looks like it's off trend. As far as, I'm
What
sorry,
all those initials you just said mean?
Robert Bob Group.
Okay.
Mhm.
In my brain, okay.
Yes, ma'am. And then the marina, they had some additional repairs and utilities, so that's why they're higher than normal. Any other questions or departmentals? Budget to actual? We are still currently working on providing budget to actuals for the departments throughout the city. We do have one process, but we're trying to really build out the personnel piece of it so that the departments are able to see their personnel on top of their operating budget in detail. I had a meeting with the IT director yesterday on other functionality and reporting capabilities within Munis. So we're going to work on start developing some additional reports.
Oh, great.
Okay.
The
Page 12 is a breakdown of, again, miscellaneous revenue, other taxes, and other expenses. Majority of miscellaneous due to capital, debt, as well as transfers in between different funds. Other taxes include business license, cigarette tax, communications, food tax, etc. And other expenses include contingency, DCJS, dues and association memberships, other payments, payments to the state, and special welfare expenses. Okay. Slide 13 would be data integrators collection for October. Data integrators is being collected at 96%, what is billed over what's collected for the month of October. So we have pretty good collection percentage on data integrators and utilities. Okay. Page 14, accounts payable and debt service for October. We received 1,741 invoices, and the city processed 5.7 million in payments, and we have one debt payment in October for a U.S. bank account for $215,000. So we are doing our debt payments on time. Okay.
Is there any bonds that are coming up that did we ever?
I'm sorry.
Did we ever finish paying? It was a bond that we paid off.
Yes, I can provide you with the payout. We did have a couple that were paid off, so I can break it down for you so you can see what was paid off.
Right. And where does that money go to the general fund when we finish paying it off?
Did you want to see for 24 and 23 and 24?
That'd be great.
Okay.
And just so the council will know what they can do with that money instead of, where would it go normally, to the general fund?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
That's
as long as it's a general fund bond, you do have some sewer bonds and stuff, so it depends on where the bond is where the monies will go. Because you do have different funds throughout the city.
So whoever was paying for it,
Mhm.
get that back in their
Yes,
budget.
ma'am.
So that's significant amount.
Okay.
Y'all remember that?
We had P-card policy revisions. The following revisions were, and forms have been created to ensure oversight for the use of the city's P-cards. The P-card policy has been updated, and all directors have been notified that cards are to be safeguarded on city premises in a lockbox or monitored by the department administrative professional, department director, or trusted department designee. When a P-card is required for city-specific purchase or travel, the user is required to sign in and sign out the P-card from the employee responsible using the P-card sign-in, sign-out log. Employees are not allowed under any circumstances to have a P-card in their possession unless it has been documented on the sign-in, sign-out log, or unless you have been approved by using an exemption form, which will be maintained and filed within the procurement office and finance. Improprieties have been noted within the policy for further direction to users to include safeguards as listed above, as well as infractions and consequences when the violation of policy has occurred. There are serious risks to implementing specific departmental cards instead of person cards. Like if I had a card, Stacey Jordan, instead of a finance card, there's less tracking capabilities if it's just a finance card, even though you sign in and sign out. If somebody was to sign out the card and make a purchase, don't turn it in. You only reconcile once a month. So it can be a risk for fraud by doing just a departmental card rather than a personal card. Okay? It negates the accountability and responsibility of the individual when using the city funds. Alleviates certain security measures and verification required by merchants and retailers when using the card. Again, if there's a personal card, you can sign your name. If it's a finance card, they can sign Mickey Mouse, you know. Potential of purchase delays by merchants and retailers not being able to properly identify authorized persons eligible for card use because of a blanket department card.
So we don't have any blanket department cards.
No, but we were, finance really, and Dr. Maker were tasked with coming up with a new policy, P-card policy provisions, and the question was rose that, what do you think about doing departmental cards instead of personal cards?
And so we
have
made
depart-
no.
No, we'd rather keep it, yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
We did do a review of the cards that the city currently has. It's really in line with other localities, and as far as expenses for the month for your P cards, it's not over the top. It's in line with other localities, actually a little bit lower than some other localities around to have more.
So is the credit line still
Spending.
10 grand?
I'm sorry,
What's the credit line for each P card?
it's like $2,000, $2,500. It's very low.
10,000.
Two.
2,500.
Mm-hmm. It's
No.
low.
Where we stand on the RFP for the forensic audit for the
No.
P-cards?
The RFP has been sent out. It has been closed, and we received 5 bids, proposals. So we just have to go through. We're going to have our first committee meeting probably the first week of December.
Fantastic. Thank you.
So no more than 25 for everybody's card,
It's
including you.
2,500 for majority of people have
Everybody
1,000.
except for yours.
But there are a handful of people who have more than 2,500. Myself, water, the big agencies, Public Works and Fire and Police. I think their directors have 5. But no, there's no more than $5,000 on a P card.
All right, just verify that, 'cause I knew somebody used to be 10,000, because they used to book our NLC conferences for 3 or 4 councils, and I know the hotel alone.
Right,
So-
and so they can be increased
Right.
temporarily to allow a purchase for multiple people in your department. But it has to go through an approval process for a temporary
And the
increase.
approval process is,
The approval process is a form that has to be filled out. They have to specify why they need the increase, and then it has to be signed off by the finance director and the city manager.
okay,
It's for a specified amount of time. So the increase is only for 30 days or 60 days, however much
you
we allow.
contact the credit card
Yes.
department
Yes.
builder to do that.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions? Okay, we can go into the treasurer's report. Already went through the bank accounts and the investment accounts. It's just a collections piece. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Do you guys have,
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Now, I want to pass the second page out to you guys because on the second page, we have a bank franchise that shows $10 million that was, looks like the Commissioner of Revenue Office accidentally had put a $10 million deficit on the second page. We can get there whenever we get there for the bank franchise. But I went ahead and gave you the updated amount for the bank franchise on the second page.
So this is page 1, right?
That is gonna, the meal tax is going to be page 2.
It's just,
Well,
is it a revision of, is it a
It's just-
revision of one that we already have? Is that it? Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
All right, thanks.
All right, guys, so, good evening, everybody. I'm not for sure if the finance director, Stacy, mentioned about our reconciliations. We are up to date for October of 2024, as requested for Robert Bob. We have sent all of our findings up to the finance office so they can do their matching with BRM, which is the Pension Reconciliation Manager. To my understanding, Stacy, they are matching and everything is going well to where we can move forward for November, moving forward for FY25. I have provided you guys with the real estate collection report as well as the personal property collection report for 2022, 2023, and 2024. As requested last meeting that I was attending, Dominique wanted me to provide what the collection amount was after we collected. So this time I did provide you guys with a report showing personal property, machinery and tools, real estate, etc. If we go down to 2024, as you see, we are 50% or 45% in, and we just sent out, I'm not gonna say just, 2 weeks ago, we sent out the real estate tax bills, which will be due December the 5th. And next week, we will be sending out the personal property tax bills that will be due February the 15th. Any questions thus far? Any questions about this report here, as far as real estate 2022, 23, or 24?
No.
And this is, the percentages reflect what you collected in June?
That's correct.
So that's pretty good, 99.5.
Okay, so if we go to the second page with meal tax, and I'm speaking about the page that I just provided you guys. I did provide you guys the same, the 2022, 23, and 24 for the meal tax business license as well as our bank franchise. With the bank franchise, we do have two, which is Wells Fargo and Truist. If you see the comparisons between the two meal tax collection reports that I did give you, there was a discrepancy again of $10 million that the Commissioner of Revenue Office did accidentally put in, and I did not want to, I guess, give that information to you guys, so we went ahead and provided you guys with the actual for 2022, 23, 24, so you guys can see what we've collected. Do you have any questions about that? You guys don't have any questions?
How can you go over 100% of collection?
So which one are we talking about?
Business and other services, you collected 100.5%. I mean,
So there must be credits that, well, it's not must be, there is credits that we are reviewing to make sure that we can place it to the 2024. So there's credits that we are reviewing at this time. And when I say credits, they're refunds that we can apply to the 2024 year. And that's what we're doing at this moment as well. Going through all the personal property refunds, transferring all the monies from the previous years and then placing them on the 2024 year. So when we send out the bills, the amounts will be already applied, and we wouldn't have to worry about the citizens griping about their money being transferred and their credits. guys have any questions about anything? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that concludes our Finance Committee meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn the Finance Committee meeting?
Second.
All right. Roll call, please.
Counselor Joyner,
Yes.
Counselor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Parton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gore,
Yes.
Counselor Denton,
Yes.
Counselor Pelham.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay. We got 4 minutes to close session.